All right, so here we're going to be talking about skill tree and the Book of the Dead and the points that we put in there. There's going to be some situational things. I don't talk about that, but mainly all of these are pretty solid. So let's get into it. We'll be getting 1 point into Bone Splinters, 1 into Enhance. These don't really matter. It just gets us to this part of the tree where we'll max out our Bone Spear. We'll then get Enhanced Bone Spear and then Paranormal. We don't need Supernatural. Everything with our aspect is going to be vulnerable, so this is just a pointless node. Some people grab that. Definitely don't get this. Get this. It's going to have 5% crit chance for us. And then when we do crit, it's going to have 2 bone shards that come out. And it's just going to give us a bunch of damage with that. Then we'll get Hewed Flesh. What that does is it's going to give us a corpse when we hit an enemy. And it's doubled on bosses, so it helps out with that too. Then we're going to get 3 points into Living Energy. And then 3 into Imperfectly Balanced. This is really good because it's going to make our core skills cost more essence. But then we're going to be doing way more damage with it, so definitely get 3 points into that as well. Now with our Blood Mist, it's going to be giving us pretty much a get out of jail free ticket, and basically if we get CC'd or we have a bunch of damage coming our way, we can just pull and be immune to damage and kind of get out of the way and reposition basically. Now with the Corpse Explosion, just getting 1 point into this, we don't need the extra radius, we don't need the extra damage or anything like that. We're mainly putting all of our stocks, I guess, basically into the Bone Spear. And basically what this is going to do is going to let us get essence when we consume. And then it's going to give us more damage. And then in our Paragon, after we consume 5 corpses, it's also going to give us more, like 40% more damage. So this is mainly what this is for. It's not to kill things. It's mainly just to help us get more essence so we can Bone Spear and more damage. So our Bone Spear just one-shots everything. Now we'll get 1 point into Bone Prison. And then we'll get 1 point right here so we can get more essence. When we trap like a big group of mobs, it's basically going to help us with that. And then the big thing here is it's going to give us Fortify for each enemy that we trap in the Bone Prison. And that's basically going to keep us alive. So we definitely go that. Now we're going to get 3 points into Death's Embrace. What this does is it lets us do more damage and take less damage from close enemies. And then I also go 1 point into Death's Reach. This is mainly, I had a free point, didn't really know where to put it. And I was like, okay, let's just get 4 extra damage to distant enemies. So definitely go there. Now with Corpse Tendrils, this is a very good ability for our build. What it does is it gives us a stun, it pulls things, and it also slows them before being pulled. And that's going to give us a bunch of procs with our Umbral aspect, because CC doesn't just count as a stun or a fear or anything like that. It actually counts as pulls, slows, and stuns. So that's 3 different procs we're getting from just one ability. And that's going to give us a bunch of essence so we can keep doing damage. Now, it's also going to give us a Blood Orb. And Blood Orbs are super good because in our build, we're going to be getting fortified from them. So definitely go this over the vulnerable. We don't need more vulnerable. Now, 3 points into Serration is going to just give us crit chance based on our essence. And then Compound Fracture, this is super good. Avulsion, super good. And then this one as well, it's just going to give us more of our cooldown on bone skills like our Bone Storm. It's just super good. So definitely get all 3 on that. Now, since we don't have pets, we're definitely going with Standalone and Minto Mori. Both of these are super strong, gives us tanky stats, and then also gives us tanky stats and some more damage. So definitely go that as well. Now, with Bone Storm, this is going to keep us alive when we're going into a big pack of mobs, especially with our aspect that we have in our gear. It's also just giving us a flat 15 damage reduction, and it's giving us some more crit as well. So it's just super strong, so definitely go these 3. And then we'll finish it off with this key passive. Gives us a whole bunch of damage. It also scales with one of our aspects as well, where it gives us just crit damage. So this is just super good. Now let's get into the Book of the Dead. And this is where we have some situational things that we can go. Now, if you're in the early game, definitely go this, because right now you're going to be struggling to have crit chance, and crit chance is so good with our build. But once you get later into the game where you have a lot of crit chance and you don't really need this, definitely go this. This is what I use because it's going to keep us alive in the higher tier nightmare dungeons and stuff like that. Both of these are super good. I think this is what you should go for early, and this is for later. Now, with Skelly Mages, there's mainly just this. Definitely just go the 15 essence. Super strong. It's going to just make you do more damage. The more essence we have in our build, the more damage. So definitely don't go the vulnerable, go the essence. Now, golems, this is where another situational thing if you're in the early game, the 30 crit damage is super strong. So definitely go that. But now that I have a lot of damage in my kit, I mainly just need more tankiness wherever I can get it. This is where we go for the maximum life. It's super good, but definitely if you're in the early game, I'd probably go iron and then blood for when you're later into the game. But that'll finish us off with that. All right, so here we're going to be talking about gear choices and the aspects that we put on them, and a little bit of the stats that we're looking for on each item. So with the helm, we're going with the unique helm. We don't really care about the aspect too much. We mainly are going in for the stats that it gives. It gives physical damage, crit damage with bone skills, and it also gives us maximum essence, which is super good. So that's what we go for the helm. Now with the chest, the aspect that we're getting there is going to be an increased armor with any form of damage that we do, which is really good for our build because our Bone Spear actually pierces through enemies, so it stacks up rather fast than other builds. And the stats that we're going for is more of just damage reduction. We want to stay tanky with our chest piece stats, so that's what we're going with that. The gloves, the aspect that we're getting is the corpse tendrils. The crit chance isn't really too valuable, but the crit damage is. It's going to allow us to do a lot of damage when we pull in a bunch of enemies. And the stats that we're going with that is just more like crit chance, crit strike damage, and stuff like that. Now with the pants, we're going more with tanky stats again on those, and we're also going with the Bone Storm, where if it damages an enemy, it gives us a barrier. This is really good. It lets us go in, say if there's a suppressor in an elite pack, if we press that and we go in, most likely going to stay alive and not get one shot, so that's why we go that. Now the boots, these are more of like a preference. On the aspect, there's the one where I'm using where if you become injured but crowd controlled, we actually get an unstoppable, so it lets us get out of trouble. So that's really good, especially because we don't really have a lot of CC breaks in our build. So this is super good. There's also the crit strike chance, where if we crit strike someone, we actually get a lot of movement speed. That one's really good too. It's really just preference on that. And then definitely a must-have with boots is move speed, since we're super immobile. Those kind of help us a lot, and definitely the damage reduction. Now the other two stats are more preference. It's whatever you want in your build. So definitely make sure we get the max roll on that move speed to help us move around. Now with the weapon, we're going with a two-handed sword. This is going to give us more crit damage on the passive with it, and it's just way better than the scythe. The life on kill just isn't really that worth it. We definitely just want more damage. Now the aspect that we're going is going to be the Bone Spear one. We definitely want this on the weapon because it's going to scale the hardest and it's going to make us hit hard, so definitely go that. Now with the amulet, we went with the Ossified Essence key passive, gaining crit strike damage, and this scales super well, so definitely go that. And then the stats that I'm really looking for here is more movement speed, and definitely a passive that we can work, and perfectly balanced is super good. So I'm glad I found that on my neck, but definitely it's preference on what passive that you want to buff. There's definitely some other good ones as well. And I also went with a little bit of damage and a little bit of tanky stats as well. So that's what we went with that. Now with the rings, we're definitely want to go glass cannon with these. We're getting more essence. We can get essence on both of our rings, which is super good. It gives us a lot of free damage, and then obviously we want crit strike chance and crit strike damage as well. And then this one rolled with vulnerable damage, but this one rolled with physical. So I mean, either work, but I'm not sure what exactly what the best one is. But if you get that, it's still not bad. So now with this ring, I went with the umbral aspect, which gives us a lot of free resource whenever we CC. And CC actually counts with a lot of things, like stun, pulls, slows. So obviously when we're hitting corpse tendrils, we're getting a lot of free essence when we're pulling a big group. So definitely want that on the ring. Now, a lot of people have been putting a bunch of other essence gain on the other ring too, but I really don't think that that's really worth, because with more damage, you can just one-shot the pack. As you'll see when I'm doing the 52, I really don't need the essence gain. There's not really a moments in that where I'm starving for essence. So what I go here is for the Edge Master, and what that does is it's just going to give us more damage with the more primary resource we have. And yeah, I really don't think we need more essence gains, but that's what we're going with the gear. All right, so very quickly, we're going to be talking about Paragon. I'm not going to go in extreme detail. There will be a link in the description below where you can just follow the Paragon, but I'm going to go over the glyphs and the boards that we picked. So to start it off, we went with Territorial. What that does is going to give us more close damage when we're in close, and it's also going to give us 10% damage reduction. Super strong, definitely go that. Now with the second board, we went with Flesh Eater. What that does is after we consume 5 corpses, it's going to give us 40 increased damage for 6 seconds. Super, super good. For the glyph, we're going Gravekeeper there. What that does is going to boost our rare nodes that are in this area, and it's also going to give us damage when there's a close corpse. So it's just super good. So 72 damage to elites and more tanky stats. Both of those are going to be boosted with this. So it's just super good for this glyph. Now, the other board that we're going is going to be Bone Graft. This is super good. There's a lot of good rare nodes here too, so definitely pick those up. And then we're also going Blood Drinker here because it's going to give us Fortify, and that is super strong because we're very weak with like tanky stats and stuff, and this is just going to give us Fortify when we Corpse Tendril, so definitely go this. It's just super free. Now, with the last board that we're picking is going to be Scent of Death, and basically what that does is when we have 2 corpses nearby, it's going to give us 15 damage reduction, and if we have no corpses near us, it's going to give us 15 increased damage. So this is really good with bosses, and it just makes sense to pick this one. The other one's not really that good for this build, so definitely go this one. And the glyph that we're picking here is going to be Control, and it's just a ton of damage when we Corpse Tendrils, and because it's going to be slowing them, it's going to be stunning them, and basically it's the only one that really makes sense to me, so that's why I won it. But yeah,